Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. In this video I'll be showing off my game room slash bedroom because I've not moved out yet, so of course it's also a bedroom. This right here, this is a door. You may have some yourself in your own house. You open them by gripping this and pushing down, and then the door is free. I don't have much of a plan for this video, other than starting off by saying that yes, this is a very messy room, but so is your room probably. And also, I don't have all my TVs going at once. Normally. This is only for the room tour. The very first thing you see as you come in is this Crash Bandicoot poster that I hung just today because I wanted to see how it looked. And yes, I have hung it with tape. This is temporary. Let's start with the boring stuff first, which is behind the door. We have another poster. This is some that you could get on My Nintendo for free plus shipping, and I was lucky to get one of those because I had some points and found an easy way to get some points. Pro tip: download the Animal Crossing game, log in and delete the game again, then you get a bunch of points. Underneath that we have my keyboard that is collecting dust for the most part, and my very sad Xbox collection. There isn't much to it except that I need to get another one of these shelves because I'm needing to put games in between now and some on top. There's Xbox 360 and the original Xbox, because I don't have any of the newer ones. When we take a step back, we have actually a lot of steps because we have this big closet. And on top there's storage, and of course also inside. This one's kind of hard to open, so that's just trash mostly. But in these two we have a lot of game boxes, like for consoles and also consoles that I don't use very often, and some more of that underneath. And then we got clothes, that's boring. We go to the side, we have another poster. This is from the Mega Drive release of Sonic the Hedgehog. Here we have my desk, which is very messy. I have some consoles on here that are there for various reasons. This one I need to sell. That one is usually hooked up to that TV, so that's nice and close. The PS2 I need to sell. This DSi I need to repair, a very minor thing, and then maybe sell it, maybe keep it. I have not decided yet. This one I don't know if works because I don't have a power supply, and that's just my Atari. Also connects to there. Usually I don't have the NES hooked up to this, but right now I do. Because if I were to hook something more sensible up to it, like this Pong console for example, it would be making a very annoying sound all the time, and I don't want that. So back to NES it goes. Let's take some steps back again. Underneath is even more storage, and most of my storage stuff is games. Like here we have a couple of Wii's that I'm trying to get rid of. Then we go over here. This is the exciting part. The game setup itself. Everything is hooked up with HDMI to this TV if it supports it. Otherwise it goes to this one. And for most consoles I have the best cables possible, like RGB cables for this, composite for this, but not for this one. This is actually RF, even though it supports RGB. RGB again, RGB, RGB, RGB for those, composite, and you get the picture. Most of them are RGB. Above that we have these shelves. These are my backlog of games that I've bought but not played yet. Plus a Switch because it fits so perfectly on this shelf and it's still easy to get out. Oh yeah, and that's outside, that's where I never go. Over here continues the backlog, and then it stops. That one is the last one that I bought. Rango on the Xbox 360, and the one that has been waiting for the longest time to be played is this one. The reason that isn't at the top is because some games I let skip ahead in the queue. Anyway, underneath here we have the PS3 and PS4 collection. Very hard to reach behind this TV. Anyway, there was also PS4, they are right down here, and my Super Nintendo. Then down here we have all of the cables. Very messy, I know. I just plug them in as needed. This right here is a video switch, and you can just change the inputs and change all sorts of stuff like sharpness and contrast, but I'm not gonna do anything with that. Let's take a step back again so we have an idea of where everything is next to each other. Over here next to the TV we have this thing, which is both a nightstand, a thing for things I'm reading, and controller storage. I have one of each controller in here, nicely labeled, although I need some new labels for consoles that I didn't have when I made the labels, like Sega Saturn in here. And this is just very convenient actually. Let's say someone is over at my house, pull this one out, which is not organized at all, but that's just more controllers. Here we have like a display that I change once in a while. Right now it's NES, Super NES and N64 things. Then we go over here, which is where the majority of the games are. Here we have a lot of empty boxes for NES, Super Nintendo and N64, plus another one right there because it didn't fit. I don't have a lot of GameCube because it's expensive, and then the Wii, which continues over to the next one here, and then Wii U. Underneath this we have Sega, which is Sega Master System. And then we continue into the Mega Drive, aka Sega Genesis, which is much smaller comparatively. After that we have a single Mega CD game. I don't have a Mega CD, I don't know why I have this game. Then continuing into Saturn, which I can't play right now because it's broken, and the Dreamcast. And then of course we have the PlayStation collection. We have PS2 here, you can pause if you want. And PS1. Now the stuff on top here is just a demo disc. And then all the way on the top we have my top 10 most expensive games according to price charting. Banjo-Tooie, Bucky O'Hare. The sequel to this game, Devil World, which was exclusive to Scandinavia and Japan. A American copy of Goof Troop, Guardian Heroes, Kirby Superstar, the Mario Kart 64, Streets of Rage 2, the 8-bit version, and then Tin Star, another American game. And then we're back here. Underneath all of this, we have another thing similar to this, but this is most of the handheld stuff. We start with the PlayStation handheld stuff with the PSP and Vita. And then we continue into Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and then the rest is Game Boy Advance. Then Nintendo DS, which continues down here behind my snack thing. Then we have my childhood, DSi, and more DS games, which continues down here with the last two. Then we have 3DS and Switch, along with the Switch box itself. Of course there's also all the consoles. The two PlayStation ones, two original Game Boys, a Game Boy Pocket, a Color, a Game Boy Advance, SP001, the original, and then a 101. I have another 101, but you'll see that one in a moment. The original DS, which is missing the top screen, a DS Lite, which I want to have modded with the AV Out mod because the hinges are loose anyway, so I don't mind losing the top screen. My childhood DSi, which works wondrously after all these years, probably still has battery on it. Yep, and my 3DS, which is on the charging cradle. This glass thing is held up by these two. In one of them I have made this display of second generation games, because I very rarely use them, so it doesn't really matter that I can't access them easily. And over here I have nothing, don't know why. There's some memory cards for PlayStation 1, 2 and Sega Dreamcast also, a calendar, and then all of the loose Game Boy and Game Gear games. Just like the Super Nintendo and N64 games, I've made these boxes, which are really cool. These are just made out of these things that you got with original Game Boy games. I don't know if you got them with Game Boy Color. Above those we have two more consoles, that is Donkey Kong Jr. and Donkey Kong 2 as Game Watches, and this is the box for that. SP that you saw right here. Now here is something that I found just today. This is a cardboard arcade machine that I made a long time ago, but I just dusted it off today, and it fits a Game Boy Advance, and this is the other SP that I have. These things that I make, you can put them in there, the one that's actually playing, and then there's storage for others down here. You can fit, I think, 5 or 6, and it's actually surprisingly playable. And of course I chose Sega Rally to put in this because this is an actual arcade game. Now below this is something that I may cut off because I'm seeing the videos getting long. Most of this is storage. I've got a lot of Donald Duck comics that I don't really read. The full 1968 collection. Some Simpsons Lego figures that I made. This is where I take pictures when I sell stuff. And over here we have a bunch of other books and DVDs. This is also where I store my loose Sega Master System games and mini consoles. There's the NES, Super Nintendo, Mega Drive, and this Namco thing from 2003, I think. Anyway, that was it, I think. We're back at the door where we started. So I think I'll end this here and say thank you for watching, and I hope to see you another time. Hey, this is outro voiceover Philip, and you may have noticed that the upload date and the date in the title is almost 7 months apart. This is because I only edit videos when I feel like it, and now I finally finished. Sorry about that.